Hello, everybody who's watching and listening, and hello, Caroline.
Hi, Marie. Hello, everybody in YouTube land.
Yeah, YouTube land. How are you, Caroline, today in UK?
I am really good. It's been a pleasant Sunday. Thank you for asking, and really looking forward to this. So, we are here. We have called our show Health Heroines, and we are going to showcase what we do on a regular basis together, which is sessions on ourselves and on other people and group sessions. So what we wanted to do was just show you a little bit about what we do and do some group sessions. Do you want to tell them a bit more about it, Marie?
Yes, we have been working together, and as Caroline said, and we've been working together as a team then on persons. We haven't done it on groups before, but we felt this has been so good, so we want to share it with as many as possible. And obviously we can't focus on one individual person, but each and every one of you will get out of these sessions exactly what is needed for you at this moment in time. So it doesn't really matter when you're listening to this, and you can listen again and again if you want. It'll work whatever way it is meant to work right here and now. And we're going to focus on, we're working with something called BodyTalk. Do you want to explain what BodyTalk is? Or do you want me to explain what BodyTalk is?
No, I don't mind. So we always struggle with this because it's one of those systems that's really difficult to explain. But really what BodyTalk is a very good way of getting your body to tell the story that it needs to tell to get you to health and healing. So we intuit, if you like, what is going on with your body-mind complex that's out of balance, and then we help you to get it back into balance.
Perfect. So really, where you have the symptoms, we're diving into the problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what we thought, oh, sorry.
No, you say, what were you going to say?
So what we thought we'd do is, rather than talk about it for hours and hours and hours, what we would do is just show you what we do. So Marie, how about you tell me what you think has been coming up for you with clients this week that's particularly relevant to now?
You know, I have heard so many clients this week saying, I am lost.
Yes.
I don't know where I am any longer. I'm listening to so many things. I've been listening to that. I've been doing this. Who am I? I am lost. I've heard that so many times.
I love that. That's such a good subject to start with. Okay, so we're starting this. Today is the 7th of March 2021 when we're recording this, our first show. Okay, so yeah, no, I love that subject. Let's just dive straight into that. So do you want to start?
Have a title, I am lost, or a sense of a lack of clarity?
So to me, the feeling that is behind I am lost is fear of not being able to find my way, or fear of
separation.
There's lots of fears. So shall we look at the fears behind it, or the I am lost? What do you think?
Why don't we start a session? Because usually we get an agenda or we get a title on it. So we'll see what BodyTalk says. We'll see what the collective, because we are doing this on you, on the collective, on everybody who's listening. So you're going to tell us. So do you want to start, or do you want me to start?
I feel like starting today.
Sure, go.
Okay, so the subject matter is feeling lost and all the feelings that come up with that. Yes. So is BodyTalk a priority for the collective of people that will be watching this, listening to this now or in the future? Yes. Oh, I'm feeling yes very strongly. So where am I going in the energy? Gosh. So my first stop is in the lungs. What I'm feeling in the lungs of this collective energy is grief for what I know. Wow. Okay, I wasn't expecting that. So there's a real sense of, I know it's changing and I don't like that, but because I don't know where I'm going. Oh, yeah, that's really, really strong. And what is making me think of, and I think I'm going back to, is those times in our collective memory where we've been at war. Wow, that's really, really strong. So I'm feeling very much like, you know, a young mum back in the First World War who's got a baby in their arms and their husband has just gone to war. That kind of grief. But I'm also feeling grief for lives lost, and I'm feeling that collective, gosh, it feels like shame actually, around everybody who didn't want the war, didn't approve of the war, didn't, you know, and afterwards when we had to make reparation and we had to mend everything. So there's a very strong feeling in the lungs of it's agitation. Actually, it feels really antsy energy. It doesn't feel smooth and gentle and calm and happy. It feels really uncomfortable. So bringing back a lot of the past, but bringing up to date a lot of everyone's the trouble that I'm feeling around what's going on, or we think's going on, or we don't know what's going on. Yes, today. So that's all in the grief, and I feel with that a strong alliance to finding a savior. Wow. So I'm looking for someone to tell me what to do. I'm looking for someone to save the day. I'm looking for someone who will make it okay. Yeah, I think I can identify with that a little bit, sadly. Anything further in the lungs? No. And I want to link that into our legs. So the collective legs of the energy. And to me, there's a real sense of can't walk forward, can't move forward, really stuckness in the fear, in the, like I'm feeling that thinking that just goes round and round and round, where you never actually get anywhere because you're like, well, if this happens and then this happens, you know, it's, so I'm stuck in that, like I'm hearing the word paralyzed as well. I'm paralyzed in that destructive thinking around moving forward, and I'm feeling that going all the way down. So through, I'm going through the blood, but I'm feeling it all the way down the legs, right out into the toes. So it feels like, yeah, there feels to be a really strong emphasis on I need to know what I'm doing before I move forward. So that's a really big block. Wow. So all the heroes and heroines in fairy tales, you know, walk off into the sunset and don't know what's coming. And I think I want to bring a bit of that energy into this session. It feels I'm paralyzed because I don't know the outcome, but I want to balance that with, and maybe you don't need to, maybe it's okay to walk forward and make mistakes and, you know, not always have all the answers. So that's so deeply entwined with what I just said in the lungs. And I just want to put that into a parcel. And then I'm feeling that, oh gosh, it's a big wave of energy in my legs then. So around that parcel, I want to bring in silence. Wow. So where we meet ourselves in silence really helps us with this issue, this whatever I've just looked at. So bringing in some silence to every mind so that, you know, there is space for the new and the future and the past to appear. Is there anything else? No, I feel like I'm handing that to you.
Thank you. That was powerful.
Thank you.
Okay, so do I need to do anything more on what Caroline just has done? No. So I want to work, what Caroline has done is we call it like a formula. So we parked that in a parcel, which she already did. And I want to work parallel with that formula. And I'm getting a really like a cry, you know, when you're gonna cry and you just have a lump in your throat and that you're trying to swallow it and swallow it. So I want to do an emotional release from our throat. It's like, you know, it's nearly like a cloth that somebody has stuffed down in our throat so that we can't get our own truth out. And I'm really tearful when I'm saying this. So I want to do some energy work on removing this emotional block that's here, that's stopping us from it's stopping us from having a straight connection to our heart, to who we really are, to not just a physical heart, but what's really, really us, what's really, really you, all the collective. And I'm sort of falling down like it's nearly like a black hole where I haven't got a clue where I'm going, and I'm feeling arms, you know, and everything, legs, I'm just falling. And it's like we're doing a session on that blockage in the throat before we can remove it. So I'm coming to something called active memory. And active memory, in order to understand that, I can explain what the passive memory is. A passive memory is a memory you can look at it, you can take it out of your memory bank, and it doesn't have a charge. You may be a bit sad, a bit happy, whatever, but it doesn't have a charge as such. An active memory, it's not always a memory that we remember, but an active memory has always a charge in our body somewhere. So I'm falling down in this like black big hole just into this active memory, and I'm getting a little person, which is the collective, holding their hand up to a big person and they're sort of putting their trust into that big person, that person is going to lead them the right direction. And then it's like the hands are going apart, because the right direction is not their truth. The right direction is they're being told what to do, rather than being encouraged to feel who they really are. And that's it's like a really big thorn in the heart, that we can't express our true selves without being judged. And that causes a sense of being, lost, of who am I, you know. So first I have to remove that thorn in the active memory. And I hear like 4 years of age, 3-4 years of age. I think quite a lot of us realize that it's not enough with just being. We have to do to be good enough. So I'm removing the thorn, and it really is like, you know, it's nearly like what you call it, like on a claw.
A hook.
A hook, yeah. So I'm just going to remove that hook from the heart in that active memory. And it's like when we're pulling that hook out, the residue from the charge, we're letting that just run out through the diaphragm and the whole intestines. And then we can leave that active memory. We're going back up to this, this is much smaller now. We're going back up to the emotional blockage in the heart. And the cloth-like thing has actually sort of, it's more like some sort of rubbery, hard ball that I'm just giving everybody, the whole collective, a big bang in the back like that, and that thing it just come out like that.
Yeah.
Linking this back to the lungs, where you are, Caroline. And it's nearly like as if we're pulling a plug out of a balloon, but not to let the air out completely, but to let the air out that we have chosen to keep in there, to keep us stuck in this place where I feel separated more so than lost. I want to link all of this into the heart, into the individuation, the really deep part in our heart. And I want to look at the general consciousness there and just look at separation and take away the illusion that our heart is separated from, call it whatever you want, call it God, call it source, call it the field, whatever word you want to use. And I want to put everything, and my parcel actually comes up like the shape of a heart. So I want to put it in that heart. And I'm getting nothing more right now. Do you want to add something? I'm passing it to you, or do you want to add something, or?
Yeah, I feel like I've got to do a sub-session underneath your heart. So that means we take the essence of what was done in the heart, and there's a little bit more work, but on a slightly different aspect. Okay, so for me, I'm looking at the gallbladder within the sub-session of the collective. And gallbladder is always about decision making, a little bit of planning. It works very closely in conjunction with the liver to help with planning and organizing. And often those of us that have been lost for any periods of time know that it's almost impossible to make a decision. And I'm in that element of, just feels a little bit like make a decision even if it's the wrong, do something is what I'm trying to say. So I'm bringing in this energy of moving some energy through the gallbladder so that a decision can be made. And sometimes we make a decision to stay, and that's okay. I'm lost and I like it for some reason, or I don't want to move. But I'm feeling like we're bringing a lot of Mars energy. So the planet Mars is very masculine. It's very get this done. And I feel like we're putting that into the gallbladder to really help you to get over your the word stagnation is coming really clearly. And as I say stagnation, I need to go into the liver. And so the collective liver, it's not looking fantastic, I have to say. We don't live a very liver-friendly lifestyle, I would say. There are those that eat well and exercise all the time, and then there's others. So I'm going to say that the collective liver is jaded is the word I'm feeling. So it's just feeling a bit like, whoa, it's having to work so hard to keep up with modern day life. And what I'm looking at so we've thrown some energy at the gallbladder, and what I want to do is kind of wake the liver up. It's just feeling very like, oh, not more stuff to look at and to work on and to plan. I'm just feeling really lackluster and kind of a little bit just want to go to sleep, please. That's okay. Can I just have a week off or whatever? So the liver's asking for some extra food, and I don't mean so you need to eat food. I'm meaning that the liver itself needs feeding because it feels undernourished, which is interesting. And as I say the word undernourished, okay. So liver is where I house my anger. So it's planning and organizing, but it's also anger. I have a lot of anger because I'm feeling undernourished, and I'm feeling undernourished on a soul level, on a physical level, on an emotional level, I think often today's society is very good at helping us to meet our needs, which are Everybody just wants to be connected, to be loved, to have a good relationship with upstairs, etc., etc. And I'm feeling this sense from this liver of undernourishment on many, many levels within the collective, within this subsession of what you did in the heart, which is very interesting. And there's also a sense that my feeling is that, you know, 1 night's sleep is not going to do it. 2 nights sleep, a week's sleep, a year's sleep. I'm feeling like this is a tiredness that comes from millennia ago. So the liver is asking for rest. And unfortunately, when we're in times like this and we're worrying and we're fretting, livers get very little rest. And obviously, you know, if we drink or smoke or eat rich foods or whatever, the liver has to work super, super hard, all those toxins or anything. So the liver's asking for a bit of rest. So I'm going to make it so that this collective liver gets a really good downtime at liver time, which I believe, Marie, is 3 to 5. Anyway, there's 2 hours of the day that your organ is most, sorry?
1 to 3.
1 to 3. Okay, so 1 to 3 in the afternoon, your liver's super, super busy, and then 1 to 3 at night.
Yeah, 1 to 3 is at night is liver time.
Yeah, is when it's resting. So really asking the liver to take advantage of that time when it's resting so that it can catch up gradually over time. Yes, okay, so I want to link the gallbladder and everything I said with that with the liver. And I now want to go into the heart in this subsession. And I'm going into a lot of heartache, a lot of brokenheartedness, a lot of protected heart, a lot of pain in the collective heart from relationships, from losing loved ones, from not believing in the system anymore. There's so many different aspects to this heartache, but it does feel very deeply rooted, and it's a deep, deep wound. So it's asking for a little bit more support. So what I want to do is bring in Mother Mary and Venus. So 2 energies that are very kind and loving and can hold you whilst you're feeling really broken. And let me just close that because that's not right. Broken and needing help. Yes. So just coming in to help ease some of that suffering in relation to what I've just said in the liver. Anything further in the subsession? No. So that's in a parcel underneath your heart. Yeah, and I can't think that I have anything else to say. Do you have anything to add?
Yeah, I do. It came very strongly to me. But this is another parallel session.
Okay.
Yeah, so we have 3 beside it, and I see them very clearly beside each other. They're actually very organized, as if we have to get clarity into our lives. And I'm in our heads, and I want to link something called amygdala, which is fight, flight, freeze response center, to simplify it. But I want to link that to thalamus, which I call the grand central station. All our senses go through thalamus, except the sense of smell, which goes through amygdala before it manifests wherever it's going. And I want to link those 2 together. And it's as if I'm de-stressing them and taking like, I can nearly see it as if you have a string of balloons, and in the end of each string, we have our 5 senses. And I want to synchronize and balance our 5 senses. Because sometimes we get really, really caught up in what we hear and what we see, and we forget completely to feel inside what is true for us. So in balancing the 5 senses, I actually want to balance them, both the natural senses, the natural way of the 5 senses, and the subtle part of the senses. And the difference is that you can, if I eat an apple, I taste the apple, but I can also imagine what it's like to eating an orange now, and that's my subtle sense. Or what does life taste like? Whatever, just an example of natural and subtle. So I want to synchronize and balance all of that, and with the amygdala and thalamus in focus. And again, link that to what is really the heart of the collective. And I'm nothing further. I'm ready to tap that out.
Yeah, I agree.
So I want to hold my hand. I want to hold my hand here, but I want to have a thumb up in my throat.
I'm going to hold the liver and the heart.
So everybody who's listening, you hold whatever feels right for you. I said everybody can hold a hand on their heart anyway. Or the liver, whatever feels right, yeah. And then we start tapping. And when we're tapping, we have to make sure to tap both hemispheres of the brain. So you can either tap the way Caroline does or the way I do. And remember to breathe. Deep breath in and out. And then you tap the heart, and it's okay to tap like that on top of your hand. Deep breath in and out. And then you tap your tummy, your enteric brain. And I'm sure we're going to talk about all these 3 brains some other time. We have a brain in the head, a brain in our heart, and we have the enteric brain in our gut system.
So what we're doing now is really just saying to the brain, wake up to all this stuff that we need you to balance now, because for some reason it hasn't been doing that work. It hasn't been clearing that. And then we tap on the heart to say, and you send out the new instructions. So brain, wake up to whatever it is we just found in the formula. Heart, sort the instructions out. So I'm feeling done. So we just keep tapping until we feel like it's done. So then we tune into...
Do you want to finish off?
Yeah. So then we tune into, is there anything else to do? Have we got more tapping to do? Is there anything else to pick up on? I'm getting no with that. That feels like complete. Usually we set homework on individual sessions, but this is collective. So I'm just going to say, is that the end of the session? It is. So that is our session for you on feeling lost at this time and all the fears and emotions that go with that. So just very quickly want to talk about what may happen for you. A lot of people say after sessions they feel really tired. They feel, if we've done a lot of emotions, like we picked up a lot of anger, we had fear, we had grief, any of those come up for you, then I always say to my clients, don't identify with them, just allow them to leave. So obviously with anger, rather than biting the head off of your spouse or your child, go and talk to a tree or write down your anger. What am I angry about? If it's grief, the obvious way to express that is to cry. If it's fear, I am frightened because, at the top of a piece of paper, and that's another good way of getting these emotions out of your body. You may feel nothing at all, and that's fine. You may feel massive, massive reactions, and that's fine too, and anything in between.
Well, I think it would be a good idea to put a link to Cortices underneath, because Cortices is a great way of balancing your whole body, actually. The left and the right, feminine, masculine, and just your whole body, and the 3 brains. It's a really good way. So we'll maybe put a link up. I'm sure you have a video with Cortices, and we put a link to that, and we put a link to my video. And also for anybody who wants a more in-depth session, individual session, we have Caroline's web page underneath as well, a link to that and a link to mine. So And I'm sure we'll talk much more about BodyTalk. You know, this is our first video, so it's exciting for us, and we'll hope you'll find it really exciting as well. And much more will come out about this. We maybe work on, I don't know, on fear, on worry, on anxiety, on all sorts of things. Maybe patterns that are annoying us. You know, why do I always do this? Why do I always do that? So, yeah. Drink water is a very good thing. I always say you get a long way with breathing properly, conscious breathing, and drinking water.
Yes. So this is our first health heroine. So thank you very much for watching. We're going to have all our details underneath, as Marie was just saying. So for anybody watching this now or in the future, I really hope it helps you. We will be doing a video once a week. So we're always going to be looking for new subjects. We'll usually tune in and see what the clients have brought to us. But if there's anything you particularly would like us to work on, please just leave a comment in the show notes. I don't speak Swedish, by the way, so if you could write that in English, that would be really helpful. Marie does. And yeah, really lots of love from both of us. Thank you very much for watching. And
thank you, Caroline, and thank you everybody who's been watching. Yeah.
Thank you too, Marie. Okay, bye-bye for now.
Bye-bye.